just to update the board, I am looking through every aspect of the Union Garden rezoning issue, looking through all the different documents. I can confirm that a hearing was held, it was properly advertised, the proof of publication has been sent to us, the bill was paid. I have photographs that the property was posted, and I do have a list of individuals that received written notice, or at least written notice was sent to them. There are still some additional items I'm looking into, and some legal research I want to do, and I'll have a more thorough report and recommendation in the next couple weeks. But I am working on that. I want to let the board know that if it hasn't already received the American Rescue Plan stimulus check, it's going to be coming in two parts, June of this year, June of next year. Some townships have already received their check. Bobby, have we?
We have not yet.
So it should be coming any day. And I just want the board to be aware that this is the federal assistance to local governments, and it enables the township to recover some relief funds for extraordinary expenses that may have been incurred by the township or businesses or residents suffered. There are 4 areas presently, and this may very well be expanded based upon what we're hearing from our congressman. But the 4 areas where the money can be spent. Number 1, respond to COVID-19 and provide assistance to impacted households, small businesses, nonprofits, which would include churches, fire departments, and industries such as tourism, travel, and hospitality. That's one area or category where money can be spent. The second, offer premium pay to eligible local government workers performing essential work during COVID-19, or provide grants to employers of these eligible workers. That's the second category. The third category, provide government services impacted when revenues were lost as a result of the pandemic. That's where I indicated previously we compare our 2019 total income versus 2020 total income, and if there is a loss or a difference, we can take that out of that fund. And lastly, the fourth area is to use these funds to invest in water, sewer, or broadband infrastructure. So those are the 4 categories presently. Now, each township is going to get an allotment or an allocation. I know that you told what that amount is. It'll just come in 2 different forms. But the county is also going to get an incredible sum, anywhere from $8 to $10 million, I've been told. And they can then parcel it out to different municipalities, nonprofits, and projects in those 4 categories. So there may be an opportunity, as more information comes out of the Commissioner's office, on how you can apply for that funding as well. And I can provide you with this documentation. And when the check comes in, I would recommend that you open up a separate account, because there's no question it's going to be audited. So it's easier for an audit to be done on money in, money out, fitted in those 4 categories. Okay. Earlier today, I received a handwritten resignation from Kevin Deere. It's addressed to whom it may concern. I, Kevin Deere, effective immediately resign from my appointed position as the Peters Creek Sanitary Authority Board as a board member. Thank you for the opportunity to serve the ratepayers of the PCSA watershed. Kevin Deere, and it's signed. I would recommend that you add this as an agenda item to accept or reject his resignation letter from the Peters Creek Sanitary Authority. That's all I have.
Jerry, before you move on, would you speak to the extensive work your office did on getting all of the information together on all of the advertisements for the several rezonings that came before the board? Can you speak to that briefly?
I mean, every time we do something, whether it's myself, paralegal, Mr. Crooney, Attorney Scott, we keep specific entries. And the bill that was referred to is a 13-page bill. I can tell you the bill, I marked off 20 hours of time. And it's on that bill. If you look on the last page, you'll see what the charges could have been. And then, and I'll bet that every bill for the last year, you'll see a professional courtesy adjustment, anywhere from $500 to $1,500. That doesn't mean we weren't there. That doesn't mean we didn't do the work. But I'm doing my best, because those are big bills. But we are also putting in the time. And I've got to run a business, and I've got to pay salaries and hospital insurance and medical insurance, just like every other employer does. But you can see, if you look at those bills, the entries and the amount of time that was expended on getting this information and attempting to respond to questions and requests. It's significant. And you throw in all of the various litigation items that we have to defend, that we have to respond to. We're under court orders on time limits to file answers and responses and participate in interrogatories and depositions and mediation, forced mediation. And the only thing I reported was what is of record. I'm not commenting on strategy or positions or anything like that. I just commented on the orders that have been handed down thus far, both in federal court and in state court.
I'm specifically talking about, there was some comments regarding how the board, your office, engineering office handled the rezoning request coming in from the parties, from the Mud District and up to, up and around Cardox and the Brownsville Road.
I mean, that's something I'll go into in greater detail, but in just looking at this isn't something that we slipped in on anybody.
Well, I want you to go into
the original application came in December of 2019. And when Jessica reviewed it, there were discrepancies in the application. That application was revised 2 to 3 times before it even started the review process. The Planning Commission met, and that was an item on their agenda, or the Planning Committee met, it was an item on their agenda in January, February, April, and May. So there were 4 months of review at public meetings. And you gotta understand, when the board reorganizes the first Monday of each year, it sets the meeting times both for the Board of Supervisors and the Planning Committee, and then that advertisement goes out. So that's a standing public meeting. If there's nothing on the agenda, you put on the board, no agenda, nothing to report. But that is an open public meeting, and there was over 4 months of review by the Planning Committee before it even came up to the supervisors for review. The hearing was held in May, so there was 5 months of review and discussion and analysis, and then the decision was handed down in June. So there was an awful lot of time. I know there was a lot of engineering time.
You've got your dates wrong. The
Excuse
dates
me,
are wrong.
the solicitor is talking, excuse me.
Well, the dates are wrong, though.
There was a lot of time that the engineer put in.
Excuse me, please, if you could, respect the
Well, I'm sure he wants to have
legislative
correct
meeting.
facts, though.
You can absolutely talk at the end of the meeting if you'd like, on public comment, we'd appreciate that, we'd welcome you to. Please allow the solicitor finish his statement, thank you.
I'm done. I'm not gonna
Okay.
engage in
Okay,
debate.
so I wanted some of the residents affected in that area, they had a lot of questions, there was a lot of comments, speaking that this board was doing something nefarious, unlawful. I heard statements that we were breaking the law. And so the Sweat Law Office has done an extensive, binder together for the residents who live up and around the affected areas that are being requested, not by the board, but outside parties are coming in to request rezoning. We have to follow a law, we have to follow the municipality's planning code, we are doing that, we have proof of that. If anybody would like to see the binder, please check with one of the attorneys,
When it's done.
and it'll be available to anybody. So everybody can see everything that was done, and that it was done properly. So thank you very much for